A peace rally was held in St. Louis last night for the ambush shooting of one of the city's police officers. Hundreds walked from a church to the scene of Sunday's attack to show support for police. The officer was shot twice in the head while sitting in traffic. He is expected to survive. The suspect, George P. Bush III, was tracked down and killed in a shootout with officers Monday. The rally ended with a moment of silence and the crowd singing, "Let there be peace on earth."
A man was just trying to be a good citizen when suddenly he found himself falling 50 feet off an Idaho bridge. Stephen Aerosmith was helping a car that had slid on black ice. Then he was hit by another car. A car plowed into the back of his Jeep, sending him falling to the river below with a broken femur. He was still able to swim to safety. He says the only thing that kept him alive was his 7-month-old son.
The only thing I could think of at that time is, my son. That was my drive, my desire, my motivation, because I was going home to see my son.
Aerosmith says he would do it all over again to potentially help someone in need.
Wow. A first-of-a-kind procedure, if successful, could be life-changing for amputees.
Reporter Heather Hedges has more on what doctors are calling the greatest development in limb research in more than 60 years.
It was actually not that difficult of a decision just because of the amount of pain that I was in.
That decision to amputate his left leg wasn't the only seemingly impossible decision Jim Ewing had to make. He also agreed to be the first patient to undergo an experimental surgery to try to improve his quality of life with a prosthetic. Almost 2 years ago, the 52-year-old from Falmouth, Maine, shattered his ankle and foot in a climbing accident in the Cayman Islands. He's an experienced climber, and he was with his wife and daughter when he fell roughly 50 feet to the ground. In July, he underwent the surgery. The surgery focused on Ewing's nerves, which are key in the brain's ability to control prosthetics, and more precise than simply focusing on muscle movements. Jim's doctor, Dr. Matthew Carty.
Close your eyes for a second and lift your foot off the ground. And if you move your ankle up and down, you can have a sense in your brain about where that limb is in space.
Jim's doctors are naming the procedure after him. If successful, it will enable him to actually feel sensation by allowing his brain to interact with the robotic prosthetic.
It will do what I tell it to do.
They should know if it worked when Jim gets his prosthetic limb in 6 months. In the meantime, Jim's even getting back to rock climbing and is planning expeditions with some fellow amputee climber friends.
Life isn't over after amputation.
That was Heather Hedges reporting. Ewing recently partnered with the survivor of the Boston Marathon bombing, Gillian Rennie, and her foundation to fund a Center for Trauma Innovation. It's set to open at Brigham this January.
If you're heading out, because we are getting close to the holiday, and I think I see you there, and if you are, dress warmly because, it was a cool day. It's going to be a colder night, and grab the rain gear.
Oh my gosh, rain